Hey, welcome, everybody. This is John Paul Mendocha, Doctor of Speed Selling. This is Raging Verbalist number 307. And we have arrived at Black Friday, if you didn't know it already. So, welcome to Black Friday. We're going to do my annual Black Friday little show here, tell you what's going on, give you some ideas. But you can catch us every week if you want to do that, of course, on YouTube or Facebook. YouTube, we run about 9 a.m. Pacific time every Friday. And then on Facebook, we're on the Position to Win book. Scandalous thing that it is. Scandalous the fact that I promote my book, of course. Most businesses fail in the first 5 minutes. Don't do that. It just takes 3 to 5 years to realize a position to win. Check it out. We'll get to there in a second. Okay, so it's Black Friday. It's a little history, of course. Black Friday was kind of this created event, if you will. Retailers were trying to figure out how to get people to start buying. Humans react to incentives. And one of the things they figured out is, okay, you know, Halloween's over, Thanksgiving's over, gluttony, you're all porked up and everything, or turkeyed up. And then, it's time to get you out buying, get you going and doing what you're supposed to be doing, which is spending some money. So this was now it's time for the Christmas rush. And now we have to get that push because we're less than a month away to Christmas. Now, all I can tell you is, of course, is that this was made up. It was manufactured. All of that, by the way, is kind of, we'll talk about how it's changed. But it was really to move and motivate buyers to spend earlier because there's a lot of money that comes in at the end. But of course, if you're running a business, you want them to buy early, buy often, but buy earlier. So that way we know how much dough we're going to make for the end of the year because retailers truly do count on having that Christmas push and what's going to happen. That's why consumer confidence is one of those things that people monitor carefully if they're in the retail space. It doesn't matter what kind of retail you do, it is a big deal. Also, at one point in time, it was a group thing. I mean, I used to go to, I wouldn't be recording this, of course, on Black Friday because I'd be out there scouring the countryside looking for deals. People used to get these things called newspapers. I know it's who knows what those are. You could probably Google it and find out what those were. But they would have all these Black Friday ads, and they'd have big signs about when they would open, and they not 8 a.m., not 7 a.m., not 6 a.m. Some places open up at 5. Some people opened up at midnight. I mean, it was that was the way it went. Couldn't buy it any sooner than that. So it was a group thing. But how it's changed over the years, of course, is that first off, there are no newspapers. Next thing is that everybody who buys from anybody is probably already inundated with some of the things that are going to happen and what you're going to get. But that's how that has changed in a big way. I haven't actually gone to a store on Black Friday in the last, I don't know, 10 years, especially COVID kind of knocked the crap out of that even more so. And retail stores are closing left and right. But it's gotten down to this that people are shopping online. Of course, Amazon was the first to really recognize that they did. I guess they called it Green Monday, and then they figured, what the hell, let's just call it Black Friday and get there. And if you're a Prime member, you can get started earlier, and they'll send you all kinds of notifications that something on your list, your wish list, has now gotten cheaper. Walmart has jumped into it, by the way. If you're not a Walmart, and they don't call it Prime, I don't know, Walmart member or something, but I have now discovered that actually works for me for certain things. I'm not a big Walmart shopper, but I can tell you, when I needed a television for the guest bedroom, Walmart was, $88 for a 32-inch television. Works, with Roku, works. It was actually cheaper than if I had bought anything else and the Roku. So, is it perfect? No, it's a guest bedroom. Come on. Even Costco is starting to try to get into that whole act of that, but you got to make it where delivery and shipping and all that is easy and hassle free. So that's kind of the where we're at on Black Friday, and hopefully I'm going to give you my list or a list of things because I did a little trend because as all of you know, I'm a big trend watcher. So Apple is doing very well this season. No, I don't own any stock directly. I own it through some ETFs, so that way I've done some financial disclosure here. But the Apple M4 MacBook Air, 13 inches, running $749. By the way, I bought one of those just a few months ago. for my wife. Nice machine. And this has been a thing, man. It is a happening valuable piece of kit. And then there have the AirPods. There's some of those that are going in, super pricing. Check those out. I kind of like those. AirPod 4s with active noise cancellation for $100. Fantastic deal on that. And that creates a lot of buzz. So, they got a lot of stuff going on like that. So that's a big thing that's happening. And that was, every list that I looked at popped that up. So I pointed that out. Big screen TVs, 4K, of course, 4K. And they've got entry models. And now it used to be, the evolution of this is 55 inches used to be big. Talking to the guy, the Costco dude who's in that department told me that, they don't, 55 is not the standard anymore. Now it's 65. Well, now they're pushing 75-inch models, and Best Buy, which is a physical store, has a $349. Now it's, you're gonna buy a Chinese TV. Just be blunt, you're gonna do that. But $350 for 75 inches, size matters. Also on the high end, LG has their OLED. My brother has an OLED, LG, amazingly good quality. I'm still hanging on to my Panasonic, plasma screen because it's such a great contrast. Works really well for sports. But someday I'm gonna have to just bite the bullet, go OLED. Next thing I'll tell you about is PlayStation 5. They have better prices than they've ever had before. So if you're a gamer and you've been waiting on this, I mean, you go check that out. And they have Samsung has got some deals on some various things. So lots of tech out there. iPads, of course, Apple is pushing that. And now I would be hesitant to buy a new iPad right now because I think they're going to come out with even some better models. But if you're holding off, you can go do it. Now, I'll tell you the reason why I would suggest, unless you're married to the Android world, an iPad, is that first time I use an iPad every single day. I'm using it right now as my countdown timer, and the damn things work and they last. I have some, and I'll probably do a raging verbalist about this. I have several Android tablets, but they go out of favor and they can't be updated, and they basically quit working. And they're, yeah. Okay. Next is that robot vacuums are a hot item now, and they're, some of these discounts that people are having 50 to 60% off. Haven't bitten the bullet on that one yet, but I can see where that's cool. Let's see, luggage and travel gear. I've got a lot of luggage. If you travel a lot like I do, you end up buying luggage on top of luggage. But then also, let's just face it, going to Amazon, going to Walmart, go to Target, go to Best Buy, go to all of those places, but make sure that you do this smartly and wisely. And I don't know if that's 10, but that's pretty close about what you're looking for. Let me check my handy dandy cheat sheet. Yeah, no, I kind of get you there. Now, frankly, here's the thing. You should probably use AI to find the best deals. I use Perplexity. I use chat. So, if I'm looking for something, I go, hey, can you find the deal? Perplexity seems to be working better for that because it scours the web and all of that. And, spend wisely. That's my watchword for you. Spend wisely. Don't be stupid. Don't way overspend and buy stuff you're not going to want or use, which actually gets me to where you should be spending wisely. And that is, why not treat yourself to something so important, so amazing, something that will change 2026 for the better for you. And this is the shameless plug, which is, why don't you go out there and pick this up? Whether it's for yourself or somebody that who's in business, go get my book. Most businesses fail in the first 5 minutes. It just takes them 3 to 5 years to realize it. Position to win. No matter what you're positioning to win, yourself, your product, your service, your business, your life, you will learn an awful lot from this book. By the way, it's available from Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million. Wherever books are sold, you can go get a physical copy. You can also go to Position to Win book, a Position to Win book, or actually I think it's position1book.com. God, John, remember the right thing. It's Black Friday. I'm intoxicated with the deals. Go check it out, and then I will send you a little free something if you buy it directly from my website. You can also buy it digitally from uh, Apple, iBooks, Kindle, Nook, and go check that out. Also, you can go pick up how remote work, how to do what we do every week, which is using remote work for a better world. And maybe that way you can keep that off-site gig and never have to get out of your bunny slippers at all. Okay, so with that, let's kind of get this thing wrapped up. First off, it's all about, if you run a business and you want to do a Black Friday, you're almost too late, but not quite. You want to throw together a promotion. But I'm going to tell you right now, it's hard to beat the fat man. And if you don't have something that's more consumer oriented, much tougher to do. And let me just say, have an absolutely great and happy Black Friday. Don't go crazy. Buy what you really are going to need, buy what you're going to use, and make sure that you do your research. And if you do all that, maybe this Black Friday will be your best Black Friday ever. And we'll be seeing you on the next Raging Verbalist. This is John Paul Mendocha, Dr. Speed Selling. And all I can tell you is get those bargains before they're all gone.